The Newsday continues here in One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. A magnitude 7.3 earthquake struck west of Indonesia's Sumatra Island earlier this morning, triggering a tsunami warning for around 2 hours. The tsunami warning, which asked local authorities to immediately instruct residents of the affected area to move away from shores, has since been lifted. Indonesia's Geophysics Agency says the quake, which hit at about 3 a.m. local time, occurred at a depth of 84 kilometers. A number of aftershocks were detected later, and one registered magnitude 5. Sumatra's local government says the quake was felt strongly in Padang, the capital of West Sumatra, prompting some people to move away from the beaches. The U.S. says warring factions in Sudan have agreed to a 72-hour ceasefire as evacuations continue. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the truce begins on Tuesday after 2 days of intense negotiations. The Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group confirmed the ceasefire, while Sudan's armed forces has yet to comment. The White House demanded that they adhere to the ceasefire and ensure their protection of people during evacuations. The U.S. military evacuated American diplomatic personnel over the weekend and suspended embassy operations.
The belligerent parties must implement an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, adhere to international law, allow unhindered humanitarian access, and respect the will of the people of Sudan to return to a path of civilian rule.
China clarifies that it respects the status of independent sovereign nations that emerged from the collapse of the Soviet Union. The clarification comes after China's envoy to Paris sparked a diplomatic storm by questioning the sovereignty of foreign Soviet nations. China's foreign ministry contradicted the envoy, who said that former Soviet nations lacked actual status in international law. China says the former Soviet member Ukraine is a sovereign state, as it is a member of the United Nations.
你提到的国家是联合国的正式会员国，只有主权国家才能成为联合国的正式会员国，这是国际常识。中国根据联合国宪章宗旨和原则。
China also says it was one of the first countries to recognize the independence of foreign Soviet states by establishing ties with said nations. Beijing also touts that it is the nation that is best at respecting their sovereignty.
首先，我要告诉你，我的表态代表中国政府的正式立场。第二，在尊重各国领土主权独立和维护联合国宪章宗旨原则方面，中国无疑是记录最好的国家。
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. Kenyan police have recovered 73 bodies, thought to be followers of a Christian cult who believe they would go to heaven if they starved themselves. Most of these bodies were recovered from mass graves in a forest in eastern Kenya. Authorities believe the death toll could still rise as exhumations continue. The cult's leader, Paul Mackenzie, was arrested on April 14 following a tip-off that suggested the existence of shallow graves containing the bodies of at least 31 of his followers. Kenyan President William Ruto has condemned the priest, noting that his teachings were contrary to any authentic religion. Ruto adds that he had instructed relevant agencies to get to the root cause of what happened. Followers of the self-proclaimed Good News International Church had been living in several secluded settlements in an 800-acre area within the Shakahola forest.
Terrorists use religion to advance their heinous acts. People like Mr. Mackenzie are using religion to do exactly the same thing. The government of Kenya and I have instructed the agencies responsible to take up the matter and to get to the root cause and to the bottom of the activities of religious or people who want to use religion to advance weird, unacceptable ideology.
There has been a cable television news shakeup in the U.S. involving two leading on-air personalities. CNN has parted ways with longtime host Don Lemon, although no explanation was provided. On Twitter, Lemon said he was only informed by his agent and was stunned by CNN's decision. He drew widespread condemnation for his comments about Republican candidate Nikki Haley. Lemon said 51-year-old Haley was not in her prime and later said he regretted the comment. Fox News has also quoted, agreed to part ways with its most popular and controversial host, Tucker Carlson. This comes barely a week after Fox agreed to pay Dominion Voting Systems and acknowledged that some of its reporting in the 2020 elections had been incorrect. Carlson was among the Fox hosts who were caught in private messages doubting their own network's allegations about Dominion's role in the supposed election fraud. The reporting allowed former President Donald Trump's camp to amplify false charges of election fraud. The UK is preparing for its biggest party in 70 years, the coronation of King Charles III. The details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
June the 2nd, 1953. 27 million people in the UK alone gathered around their TV sets to see Elizabeth Alexandra Mary crowned Queen in a ceremony that lasted for 3 hours. She was just 27 at the time.
Queen Elizabeth II passes from the Abbey, consecrated and dedicated to her life work by the solemn and hallowed ritual of coronation.
Early pictures of Prince Charles, taken with his parents when he was a small baby, serve to remind us just how quickly he's growing up.
Now, 70 years later, it's her son's turn. On the 6th of May, Charles Philip Arthur George will be, at 74, the oldest monarch ever crowned in a grand Westminster Abbey ceremony that dates back to the 11th century. Coronation plans, codenamed Operation Golden Orb, call for shorter formalities this time around, which will probably be welcome news to the 2,000 guests invited to witness the ceremony in person. If you didn't get an invite though, not to worry, there will be plenty of ways to celebrate across the country. Visitors can expect themed concerts, afternoon teas, meetups for corgi owners, and laser light shows. The coronation merchandise market is already booming. And the beer will be flowing. In early March, the government extended licensing laws that allows pubs to stay open an extra 2 hours until 1 a.m. during the special coronation weekend. While the world has changed a very great deal in the last 70 years, the coronation of King Charles III will be a pageant steeped in tradition.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.